Terrorism was originally defined in the Oxford English Dictionary as government by intimidation. And I think we'll all can agree that is exactly what we have today. I don't trust the government. I don't trust the medical pharmaceutical industrial complex. I don't trust the military industrial complex. I don't trust the mainstream media. I don't trust the banks, the bankster criminal cabal that owns the government, owns the medical pharmaceutical industrial complex, owns the military industrial complex, and owns the mainstream media. If you call me a conspiracy theorist, I don't trust you. 17.4 million Brits didn't vote in a referendum only to be ignored by the Remainers in Parliament. Bailiffs. What bailiffs can legally do when they visit your home. It is important to know your rights. The festive season can be extremely difficult for many, particularly those who have ended up in debt. A steep rise in the use of bailiffs by local authorities, criminal cabals, saw more than 2.3 million, or is it 23 million? I can't see if there's a dot there or not. Looks like 23 million, I'll go with that. Debts passed over in 2016-17 according to the Money Advice Trust. Figures for 2018 are not yet available. Bailiffs, also known as enforcement agents, have the right to visit a property to remove and sell goods to repay certain debts, including council tax arrears, parking notices and other debts owed to councils. Research by the charity, which runs the national debt line, shows that the figure jumped by 14% in just 2 years. This is despite government guidance stating that bailiffs' action should only ever be used as a last resort. However, the Money Advice team said an increasing number of councils are working hard to improve their debt collection practices, and that 4 in 10, 38%, actually reduced their reliance on bailiffs in that time. Bullshit. Council tax arrears amounted for 6% of cases sent to bailiffs in that period, while parking referrals were up by 27% of the previous 2 years, and referrals for housing benefit overpayment by 20% the same period. The first thing you have to get is all these twats in this picture here are just private bailiffs. They're the lowest scum-sucking shitheads on the planet. They don't actually have any powers. They can't come on your property as they claim, and they will tell you they can because they're above the law apparently. It doesn't say much more than that. There is a video to go with it. Might be worth watching, but probably be full of propaganda bullshit telling you what they can do and not what they can't do. Because yeah, if your door's open, they can come in. If it's locked, they can't come in. Can they force it open? No, they can't. Not for anything that's been mentioned so far anyway. Can they take your car? Depends on what it's for. If you're in doubt, park it elsewhere. Better still, have it put in a trust at a separate address, and then it's safe. But that's something you've got to decide whether you want to go down that line or not. There's loads more you can be told about them, but you've got to do your own digging up. But basically they have very, very little powers, but they will tell you they can come and shit in your mouth if they want to, when of course we know in actual fact they can't do anything. Another black man found dead in home of Clinton and Obama. Mega donor, still no arrests. Why it's emphasising black man, I've no idea. West Hollywood, California. As the family and friends of Jamal Moore, 26, continue to fight up the uphill battle to bring the man they say is responsible for his death to justice, yet another man has died in the same home in the company of the same man, as TFTP reported last year. Moore was found dead at prominent Democratic donor Ed Buck's home in 2017, and now another black man was found dead on Monday. Not surprisingly, the media coverage of this incident is all but non-existent. How do you sleep at night? MPs accuse lawyer whose firm made 11 million from hounding British troops of being dishonest and deluded. Martin Day's firm sued the mod on behalf of Iraqi's alleged soldier wrongdoing. Former army officer Johnny Mercer, MP, accused Day of being dishonest. Mercer asked if Day was proud or had he any concept of the lives he had ruined. Co-founder of the law firm accused of hounding British troops was asked how they sleep at night during furious exchange with MPs, and he said, "I sleep quite soundly. I'll sleep on my bed of cash." And why I have bits and bobs both ways, because the troops shouldn't be hounded. However, if they've committed acts that they shouldn't have, then they should be hounded. And they should pay for the crimes. Italy's populist leader sensationally throw their support behind France's Yellow Vest protests, urging them not to weaken in insult to Macron. Deputy Luigi Di Maio and Prime Minister Matteo Salvini backed the protesters. They wrote in their First Star Movement party blog that they should not weaken. It comes as clashes between police and Yellow Vests intensify across France. A professional boxer handed himself in Monday after being filmed beating cops. Italy's populist leader has thrown their support behind France's Yellow Vests. Deputy Luigi, Yellow Vests do not weaken, Di Maio, who heads the anti-establishment 5-star movement, wrote in his blog. I support honest citizens protesting against a president who governs against his people, Salvini said in a statement, while firmly condemning recent protest violence. But that's the difference. The violence was 9 times out of 10, if not 100%, agent provocateurs, police undercover, wearing masks, causing the violence to make the Yellow Vests look bad. They do it all the time. They do it in this country. They do it in every country. They have agent provocateurs out there to make you look bad and to cause the violence that they can then say, oh, look at this. Something must be done. Let's give the police real bullets and shit like that. That's the plan. Then once the murdering starts, that could be the end for France. 2 bosses are given staggering £473,000 redundancy payoffs as their councils merge to save money. Yeah, you heard that right. £500,000 each to save money? Or are they just greasing the palms of the dirty bastards that shouldn't have been there in the first place? I think we know which one it is. 9 local authorities in Dorset will combine to form just 2 in April. Senior staff losing their jobs are being handed eye-watering payouts, vastly exceed a cap on public sector so-called golden parachutes. Redundancy package for 2 executives at the centre of council mergers will cost taxpayers almost £1 million. But, don't worry about those on the streets, because that £1 million, well, yeah, actually could have put every single one of them in their area in a house. 9 local authorities will combine to form just 2 in April. Senior staff losing their jobs are being handed payouts which vastly exceed a cap on the public sector's so-called golden parachutes. Jane Portman, the managing director of Bournemouth Borough Council, is to receive a payout and pension redundancy package of nearly £500,000. It was announced yesterday. Debbie Ward, Chief Executive of Dorset County Council, has been awarded the same amount after leaving her post in November. In May 2015, Chancellor George Osborne promised to halt the culture of golden parachutes by capping redundancy payments in the public sector at £95,000. So they're getting nearly 5 times the amount that they're supposed to. Yeah, no wonder she's got a big grin on her face. She's just been given £500,000 for nothing. Oh, you're going, here's £500,000. There you go. France in meltdown. Now ex-ministers say police should use live rounds on protesters. French police should be able to use their weapons over and for all, once and for all, and open live fire on Yellow Vest protesters, a former French official said today. France's former education minister, Luc Ferry, made the comments. Mr. Ferry served in Jacques Chirac's government. He's now a philosopher. Not very good one then. This is shooting your citizens because they're not happy with what you've been up to. It's called a military dictatorship. "20 Tory MPs voted for anti-no deal amendment." Well, we know that. I'm not going to go into it because it's in the papers and other bits and bobs as well. Tory bid to stop homeless people dying outside Parliament is an outrage. Not to house them. No. To move them on so they die somewhere else. Is this the sort of society you want to live in, where a criminal, corrupt government simply moves those that are dropping dead on somewhere else to drop dead, rather than assisting them? The Conservative Party has decided the best way to stop homeless people from dying outside Parliament is to make them go away and die somewhere else. Tory-run Westminster Council is using an excuse that the streets have to be cleaned, so private belongings that left there by homeless people will be removed to force them away from the area. The council is claiming weekly that a purge is not aimed at anybody in particular, but it seems certain this underhanded move has been motivated by the death of Guillaume Remes in late December. Signs have been put up to the walls directly opposite tribute to Mr. Remes, saying these walkways are cleared on a daily basis. Private property must not be left unattended within the walkway. Any property or possessions that appear to be left unattended for any period of time and for whatever reason may be removed without any further notice and may be disposed of as litter and waste. These bastards need to be in jail. They are sycophants. They're so far up their own arse, they only care about themselves. They need to be removed and punished. Netanyahu compares corruption charges against him to omelettes in Instagram outburst after professing innocence. Israel's right-wing premier urged followers to help him make bribery jokes online after declaring his innocence in several corruption cases during televised speech. You mean he's not just gone, yeah, I'm a corrupt bastard? Oh, no, he has done that, but he says, I'm a corrupt bastard, but I didn't do it. Yeah, I did that, but I didn't do it. Yeah, no, it's sort of like, yeah, he's corrupt, but I'm Netanyahu. I'm bulletproof. I can't be charged with anything. I'm one of the head Zionists. I'm impossible to be charged because I run the world. The Israeli Prime Minister has compared... Yeah, Mr. Netanyahu is contesting an April election under the shadow of possible indictment and urged his supporters to help him make jokes about bribery short. So basically, make jokes about it because that way it'll become a joke and no one will want to charge me. Taking to Instagram, the embattled premier who heads Israel's right-wing Likud party posted bribery without money is like, and called on people to fill in the blanks. This man is the biggest threat to humanity this side of George Soros. His crimes against humanity outweigh almost everyone ever. And you can go to Hitler, you can go to Russia, you can go to China. This man has committed more crimes than all of them put together. Revealed Soubry's rant against white working class. Anna Soubry MP for Broxtowe, since the 2010 general election, previously claimed white working class Leave voters had probably never even seen a migrant. This trollop. Hey Bilborough, if you're voting for that truck twat, use your head. Anything other than that bitch. Speaking to the BBC just before past Prime Minister David Cameron announced he would step down in the next 3 months, Soubry claimed the EU referendum had unleashed something. I am an East Midlands girl through and through, and I have seen stuff, I have heard stuff that I have not heard since I was a student in Dalston back in the late 70s. I have seen people thinking that it's acceptable not only to shout traitor at you, but to stand up and say I am voting out because I want these immigrants out. She's former TV presenter, so she is fully part of the establishment. She's been lying to the public all her life. She was trained to lie to the public at university and has continued and is still continuing. She should be behind bars, the sycophant. Rockefeller Foundation sued $1 billion for infecting citizens with syphilis. A federal judge in Maryland allowed the lawsuit against the Johns Hopkins University, Bristol Myers Squibb Co. and the Rockefeller Foundation to proceed after it was discovered they helped the US government conduct illegal experiments on unsuspecting citizens in the 1940s. Wow, $1 billion, that's like a drop in the ocean to them. But it highlights their corruption. Speaking of the corruption they're heavily involved with. Roundup for breakfast? The weed killer was found in all children's cereals. A second round of tests commissioned by the Environmental Working Group found the active ingredient in Monsanto's Roundup weed killer in every sample of popular oat-based cereal and other oat-based food marketed to children. These test results fly in the face of claims that by two companies, Quaker and General Mills, which have said there is no reason for concern. This is because they say their products meet the legal standards. And shall I tell you why? Roundup, which is a toxic poison, has been found in every cereal. This is in America, but it'll be the same over here. That's because before they're about to be cropped, they get sprayed with Roundup again, so it's still on the actual ingredients when they're harvested. It's a part of the depopulation plan. France's Yellow Vest protests unleashed chaos by withdrawing all money from banks. We should all do this, because you shouldn't leave any money in the bank, because when the system goes, it's gone. Activists from a French protest movement encouraged supporters Wednesday to set off a bank run by emptying their accounts, while the government urged citizens to express their discontent in a national debate instead of weekly demonstrations disrupting the streets of Paris. Activists from the Yellow Vest movement, which started with protests over fuel tax increases, but that then, as we've learned, has gone on to be about the paedophiles in Parliament and the poisons in vaccines. Activists from the Yellow Vest movement, which started the process, recommend that massive cash withdrawals on social media. At one poster, Maxine Nicole called in the tax collectors referendum. Alert: the 5 chart proves that the stock market is on the cusp of crashing by 70%, maybe more. We're going to get our bread back. You're making money with our dough and up, Nicole said in video message. The movement adherents said they hoped the banking action will force the French government to heed their demands, especially giving citizens the right to propose new laws which take power from Macron, the traitor, the Rothschild puppet. Macron must listen. French humiliation as German makes shock Yellow Vest intervention. Senior German conservative Manfred Weber has urged French President Emmanuel Macron to listen to anti-establishment protests, stressing that European citizens should play a key role in shaping government policy. The Yellow Vest crisis, which started as a protest against fuel tax hikes, they always go down that road, then morphed into an anti-Macron rebellion, could mark a shift towards the extremes and boost populism. Asked to comment on France's Yellow Vest crisis, Mr. Weber, the leader of the European People's Party in the European Parliament, told AFP Mr. Macron, like all reformists, faces the tricky question of social treatment and how to deal with the social impact of economic reform. He said, I am fully in favour of reform projects, but these must be implemented in an inclusive manner by involving the people affected more directly. This is an issue that we must respond to at national and European levels. Well, not for much longer, because the European Union is going, and about time, because we were lied into a dictatorship, and we just have to repeal the 72 Act and we're out. Theresa May's Tory government warned UK won't leave EU on March 29 during Brexit debate. You mean we're not leaving? Well, you could have knocked me over with a feather. I never saw that coming. Much. Shadow Brexit Secretary Keir Starmer has warned Theresa May's Tory government that the UK will not leave the EU on March 29, accusing them of pushing Parliament away during the first day of debate at PM's deal. May called off the vote on her deal in December after admitting that it would be rejected by a significant margin if MPs voted on it. She claimed that having listened to concerns from MPs, she would seek the necessary changes in order to get her Brexit betrayal through Parliament. This is treason. Pure and simple treason. She needs to be in jail. Express. End of an era in Queen's most dutiful aide stepping aside. Common Speaker Bercow accused of flouting rule to thwart Brexit. You're so out of order. Amazon boss and his 110 billion divorce. Don't expect next day delivery. But coming back to Bercow, he's got to go. Mirror. Amazon chief's 125 billion divorce. So is it 110 or is it 125? What's 15 billion between exes? Jean Whitfield, An Extraordinary Life in Her Own Words. Exclusive. PM's desperate bid. May caves in on workers' rights to save Brexit deal. Sorry, let me rephrase that. To save Brexit betrayal. She hopes to woo Labour MPs with key concessions on pay and conditions. You mean those key conditions that she should have had there in the first place, but she's anti-poor people. This is evidenced by the amount that she's murdered. The scum. Out of order. Speaker of the devil. Fury at Bercow bid to scupper Brexit. He has to go. If anyway, he should go to jail. Ron X to sue over threats. The Times. Anna Soubry, I stay away from platform edges now. I think we all know why. Tory rebels join forces with Labour over Brexit. MP open talks as May loses in Commons again. Victim rescue fees dropped after Times investigation. And the Amazon thing there, it's 107 billion in this particular piece of shit. New use for statins, yeah, put them in the bin. BBC's man faces rebuilt. Boost for grandmas. Franco-German pact. US credit rating risk. The Guardian. May's power ebbing away as she suffers another humiliating defeat. Fury in Commons as Speaker allows vote on rebel amendment to force Brexit timetable. How alliance formed against no deal. Profile Speaker at centre of controversy. Corbyn renews call for general election, so that he can then be voted in, have another referendum with it fixed to remain, job done, been saying it's been coming all along, mark my words. Unless we stand up and lock the treasonous bastards. Daily Fail. The egotistical peering Popinjay has shamelessly put his anti-Brexit bias before the national interest and is a disgrace to his office. Out of order. Bercow sparks uproar by tearing up Commons rulebook. Flagrant prejudice inflicts second defeat on May in 24 hours. He needs to go. And when it all comes out, you'll find that he needs to go to jail. Aye. What the euro must do to survive. It must roll over and die because it's a dictatorship. Mindfulness for little ones. Crossrail warning at cover-up. Boy 14 tragedy targeted in brutal knife attack. What happened when I went on a vegan diet? How to tell if fox fur is really fake. 50 billion split. World richest man to divorce. So we've had 50 billion, 107 billion, 110 billion, 125 billion. It seems like the papers haven't got a clue. Which of course they haven't. May losing control of Brexit. Second huge damaging Commons defeat for the PM in 2 days, ahead of next week's key vote. MPs order May to show them Plan B once they vote down her deal. Tories outraged after Speaker is accused of ignoring his own officials about rebels. Brexit Secretary offers Commons a veto on backstop in 2020 as number 10 tries to avoid defeat. Labour may campaign in next general election on Remain promise. Oh, but the only way they could do that would be to have another referendum and they fix it for you to vote for Remain. Which is what we've had now. We've had nearly 3 years of propaganda. And now they're almost ready to test to see if that propaganda's worked. So they learned from Ireland. 6 months isn't long enough. 3 years, probably. Telegraph. Mr. Speaker takes control. Another damaging defeat for May as Bercow hands power over Brexit process to the Commons. The wrong man is in the chair at this crucial stage. Knife crime police be appalled. Theatre lets its royal secret slip. Grammars help more black pupils aim high. Bleak midwinter for the high street. RAF's F-35s ready to reach for the sky, except they can't fly, and so not that ready. 5 years ago I might have not have expected I'd get this job. Shut up. Anything but independent. Beware of the far right at the ballot box. Why the gender pay gap is growing. Black women still aren't being heard. Oh, shut up. Your chance to bid for Ashes tickets. No thanks. My right to top off football. 23-year-old Norwegian girl. MPs plan their push to deliver Brexit referendum. Another defeat for May reignites talk of when to make move. Metro. So does May have a plan B for Brexit? Amazon boss in 137 billion divorce. Wow, we've had a different figure in everyone. Loyal wife, but of 25 years could land half his fortune. That's not even close. Bradley is toast of the BAFTAs. Katie Price back in court. Now Kit wants to chill out. 60 seconds with Dominic West. Financial Times. Festive sales hit decade low. May offers MPs backstop veto. Market turmoil spurs Fed caution over pace off future interest rate increase. Local doctors revolt over rising NHS property fees. Dennis Healy. World events do not occur by accident. They are made to happen, whether it is to do with national issues or commerce, and most of them are staged and managed by those who hold the purse strings.